All right, what's up, folks? Rich Van Tassel with you, giving you the recap of some of the early games from now Week 15 of the NFL season. The Buffalo Bills 24-16 over the Miami Dolphins. Buffalo improves to 8-6. Miami drops to 6-8. Going to be very tough for the Miami Dolphins to make the playoffs. Buffalo is certainly still right in the thick of things. Jay Cutler 28 of 49, 274 yards, no touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Kenyon Drake, 16 carries, 78 yards, 4.9 per rush, 1 touchdown. Jay Cutler, 2 of 8, 4 yards per rush. The team 21 of 400, 4.8 yards per rush, and the touchdown. Jarvis Landry, 10 receptions, 99 yards. Devontae Parker, 6 of 89. Kenyon Drake, 6 of 35. Jay Cutler fumbled 4 times, didn't lose any of them, but recovered all 4, so it was the bad Jay Cutler in this game. Xavier Howard and Cameron Wake both had sacks, no interceptions. Jakeem Grant, 2 kick returns, 43 yards, 2 punt returns, 33 yards. Cody Parkey, 3 for 3. In his field goals for the Buffalo Bills, Tyrod Taylor was able to go. He got the start. 17 carries, 17 out of 29, 224 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. They didn't run the ball all that well. 20 carries of 50 yards for LaShawn McCoy. That's a 2.5 yards per rush average, not very good. He did have a touchdown. Tyrod Taylor, 6 of 42, 7 yards per rush, 1 touchdown. Tavares Cadet, 4 of 24, 6 yards per rush, no touchdowns. The team 30 of 116, 3.9 yards per rush to 2 touchdowns. You had 2 guys go 10 carries for 66 yards, and you don't get to 4 yards per carry, though. So as good as Buffalo is running the ball, they weren't today, but they didn't need to because there were the turnovers by Cutler. Charles Clay, 5 receptions, 68 yards. LaShawn McCoy, 4 for 46, 1 touchdown. Nick O'Leary, 2 of 33. Sharice Rice recovered a fumble. The team had 2 sacks. Cappy and Ryan Davis. Sharice Rice, Tre'Davious White, Jordan Poyer all had interceptions. Brandon Tate, 3 kick returns, 38 yards. 12.7 per return, not really that good. Brandon Tate, 1 punt return for 2 yards. Stephen Hauschka, 1 for 1 in his field goals. For the Dolphins, really quite simple. Jay Cutler has not delivered the goods this year. At times, he's looked okay. I figured behind that offensive line, he might do a bit better, but unfortunately, Jay Cutler is what he is, and he still shows at times he just throws the ball and is way too careless with it. For the Buffalo Bills, look, you had Tyrod Taylor back. You ran the ball at least effectively enough. I don't want to act like this was the worst running attempt I'd ever seen for them. But certainly, this is a team that relies heavily on that run game. They're going to need it to be better than it was today moving forward because they could be in trouble if they're not able to do it. And this team certainly is right in the thick of things when it comes down to the AFC wild card. Baltimore will do them next, if that we have the box, yeah, we do. So they won, so they're right in the thick of things. They beat the Browns. The Browns 0-14. They're bad. Baltimore is now 8-6. Cleveland, as we said, 0-14. It was 27-10. Joe Flacco, 26 of 42, 288, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Javoris Allen was the top rusher today, 13 of 75.4 per rush. Alex Collins, 12 of 19. 1.6. Joe Flacco, 4 of 3. He had the only rushing touchdown. 31 of 97, 3.1 yards per rush. 5 guys ran the ball, so it wasn't that good of a run day, but you're playing the Browns, it doesn't matter. As we said, 31 of 97, 3.1 in the touchdown. Mike Wallace, 6 of 89, receiving. Benjamin Watson, 4 of 74. Longest of 30 and 33 there. Benjamin Watson, I don't know if that was a catch and run, but we talked about them getting downfield. Alex Collins, 5 of 33. You also had Jeremy Maclin catch a 22-yarder. So more of the aerial passing game we've come to expect from Joe Flacco. Anthony Levine Sr. and Brandon Williams both recovered fumbles. Zadarius Smith and Matthew Judon had sacks. Eric Weddle and Brandon Carr both had interceptions. Boy, Brandon Carr could never seem to get a pick at the Cowboys. No punt returns. Michael Campanaro punt return for no yards. Justin Tucker 2 for 2 in his field goals. For the Cleveland Browns, DeShone Kizer, it was bad today. 20 of 37, 146, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Isaiah Crowell, 5 of 72, 14.4 yards rushing. DeShone Kizer, 7 of 35, 5 yards rushing. Duke Johnson Jr., 7 of 23, 3.3, 1 touchdown. I've said this way too many occasions for a team that's 0-14. 19 carries of 130 yards. That's 6.8 per rush, and you can't win. I mean, there have been plenty of games where Cleveland has had very good running stats, and they can't win a game here. Josh Gordon, 5 receptions, 47 yards. Duke Johnson Jr., 5 receptions for 40 yards. Seth DeVale, 2 of 32. Corey Coleman, 1 of 16. Duke Johnson Jr. and DeShone Kizer both lost fumbles. 1 sack, it was Trevin Coley. No interceptions. Jabril Peppers, 3 kick returns, 77 yards. That's a 25.7 average with the longest of 29. That's pretty good. He had 1 punt return, 11 yards. Zane Gonzalez, 1 for 1 in his field goals. For Baltimore, real quick with this one, got to, again, find their running game. Look, you had Javoris Allen, who ran the ball the most and was at 5.4, but Alex Collins, 12 of 19, not going to be good enough. They got the downfield passing game going. Joe Flacco, a little high with the incompletions, but he didn't turn the ball over, which is good. For the Cleveland Browns, as we said, it's terrible. They were actually commenting in this game that I guess it was with the blitz situation. They were talking about a screen pass the Baltimore Ravens ran because Cleveland likes to blitz, and they're talking about how Hugh Jackson's saying, well, what we do, we're going to keep doing it. It's like, bro, you're 0-13, now 0-14. What do you, like, don't you think that might be the problem? I mean, this is terrible. This is just the worst thing I've ever seen. Everyone knew coming in, DeShone Kizer was not very polished. He needed a lot of work. And in this case, you throw him into this briar patch where he's simply just never going to make the plays with the talent that's around him, and you're putting an unpolished guy in this situation. DeShone Kizer may be able to play in the future. I hope this doesn't wreck the guy's confidence, but it's a situation where you can't have an unpolished guy coming in for this team. They're simply just not good enough, and they're detrimental. I mean, it's just terrible. I don't even know where to go with the Browns at this point. The Cincinnati Bengals completely embarrassed themselves, losing 34-7 to the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota moves to 11-3, and Cincinnati drops to 5-9. It was said that Marvin Lewis is going to be fired at the end of this season, and obviously Cincinnati played like that. Andy Dalton, 11 of 22, 113 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. A.J. McCarron, 3 of 6, 19 yards. The team, 14 of 28, 115, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Giovanni Bernard, 14 carries, 30 yards, 2.1 per rush, 1 touchdown. The team, 20 of 46, 2.3 per rush, and the touchdown. Brandon LaFell, 2 of 53 receiving. A.J. Green, 2 of 30. C.J. Zuma, 4 of 24. Giovanni Bernard, 3 of 13. Alex Erickson fumbled and recovered. 2 sacks, both by Geno Atkins. Sean Williams had an interception. Alex Erickson, 2 kick returns, 44 yards. 2 punt returns, 12 yards. Randy Bullock did not attempt a field goal. For the Vikings, Case Keenum, 20 of 23, 236 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Teddy Bridgewater did get back in the fold here, went 0 of 2 with an interception. Obviously rusty in that case, so it was good that he got some reps. Latavius Murray, 20 carries, 76 yards, 3.8 per rush, 1 touchdown. Jerick McKinnon, 9 of 24, 2.7. The team, 34 of 124, 3.6. That included 3 kneel downs by Teddy Bridgewater, and you were winning the game 34-7, so the 3.6 on 34 carries is perfectly fine with that big lead. Jerick McKinnon, 7 receptions, 114 yards. Stephon Diggs, 5 of 30, 1 touchdown. Adam Thielen, 3 of 30. Kyle Rudolph had 2 of 17 and the other touchdown. There were no fumbles, 3 sacks. Daniel Hunter had 1. Brian Robinson had 2. Eric Kendricks, Terrence Newman's both had interceptions. Kendrick returned his 31 yards for a touchdown. Marcus Sherrill's 5 punt returns, 41 yards. Kai Forbath 2 for 2 in his field goals. Look, if you're going to fire Marvin Lewis, just fire him. This is the worst possible thing to do, is say he's not coming back, but have him string out the last 3 weeks, and obviously this is what you're going to get in this situation because there's just no life by the Cincinnati Bengals in this game. For the Minnesota Vikings, Case Keenum, nice bounce-back game. Obviously, their defense played very well. It's good to see from the Bengals because they had a tough loss last week to the Carolina Panthers, and some questions with Case Keenum. But in this case, you have a situation where you're playing a team that has clearly given up, so how much do you take from it in that regard? I don't know. I'm glad that they won, but again, you have to take this victory with a grain of salt because the Cincinnati Bengals clearly did not come to play today. Everyone saw that. All right, and the Jacksonville Jaguars clinched a playoff spot, pounding the Houston Texans 45-7. Houston drops to 4-10. The Jacksonville Jaguars are now 10-4. T.J. Yates, 12 of 31, just pathetic. 128 yards, 1 touchdown, 1. I mean, DeShone Kizer's better than that, man. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Alfred Blue, 12 carries, 55 yards, 4.6. Lamar Miller, 9 of 32, 3.6. 21 of 87 for the team, 4.1 yards per rush. DeAndre Hopkins, 4 of 80. 1 touchdown. Will Fuller, the 5th, 5 of 44. This is receiving. Jay Porosh, 1 of 3. Brino Giacomini recovered a fumble. TJ Yates fumbled twice and recovered one of them. The team had 1 sack. It was Brian Cushing. No interceptions. Chris Thompson, 2 kick returns, 25 yards. Will Fuller, the 5th, 1 of 16. Kymene Fairbairn did not attempt a field goal. For the Jaguars, Blake Bortles, 21 of 29, 326 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Corey Grant, 10 of 69 rushing. Fournette did not play. That's 6.9 per rush, 1 touchdown. Chris Ivory, 17 of 42, 2.5. TJ Yeldon, 7 of 27, 3.9. 38 of 126, which is 3.6, which you're below the 4-yard per average mark, but you won 45-7, so that's plenty there. Keelan Cole had a big day, 7 of 186, receiving, 1 touchdown. Jaden Mickens, 4 of 61, 2 touchdowns. The team 31, or that doesn't. The total team receptions was 21 of 326. So you saw how much the air game was in effect for the Jaguars. There were no fumbles. The team had 4 sacks. Malik Jackson, Dante Fowler Jr. had 1. Calais Campbell had 2. Barry Church had an interception. Corey Grant, 2 kick returns, 44 yards. Jaden Mickens, 5 punt returns, 38 yards. D.D. Westbrook, 1 of 19. 6 of 57 returning, which is 9.5 per return, which is good. But you had a 26-yarder by Mickens and a 19-yarder, so that inflates the numbers a bit. And Josh Lambo, 1 for 1 in his field goals. For the Texans, look, you're an injured team. You're down to your 3rd-string quarterback. It's just a lost year. There's no other way around it. For the Jaguars, how far can this team go? We've really got to start keeping an eye on them. Their defense is very good. Their linebacking core, I don't want to say it's terrible, but this team is so strong with the front 4 and their secondary. That would be your only concern with the defense, would be the linebacking core. And I'm not even saying it's bad. I'm just saying as good as their secondary is and as good as their defensive line is, they're top end both ways. So that's something to keep an eye on moving forward. And of course, Blake Bortles limiting the turnovers, and you got to get Leonard Fournette back. All right, we'll be back in just a little bit to finish up with the recap of the 1 o'clock games for Week 15. Remember, we appreciate all subscriptions. Thank you.